This is the home of good news. I am Pulem Molebatsi. You are watching Stories Untold. Welcome to the show. As we commemorate Women's Month this year, would like to shine a spotlight on the plight of victims of gender-based violence as well as human trafficking. Our women and children remain the most vulnerable members in our community. Today, we follow the story of Karabo April. She is a survivor of human trafficking. She relates how her life turned around when she was kidnapped and kept captive for a couple of days while being gang raped. This is really a tragic story. But at the end of that tragedy, Karabo was able to rebuild her life. We follow her story as to how she managed to do that. But we begin with the tragic incident in her life.
The women of this country continue to be stalked by violence, mainly at the hands of men. A double-digit percentage increase of 21.5% was recorded in the attempted murder figures for the fourth quarter.
According to the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, women continue to bear the burden of violent attacks in South Africa. He said this when he released the South African Police Service's crime statistics. According to the statistics, in the first 3 months of 2023, more than 10,000 women were raped. 1,485 attempted murders of women were reported, 969 women were killed, and over 15,000 women were assaulted. Born and raised in Soweto, meet Karabo April, who is a mother and a victim empowerment activist whose passion is to see victims of human rights violation freed from the shackles of pain, anger, guilt, self-blame, and humiliation. A dark cloud fell on Karabo right after Christmas Day when she was unfortunately kidnapped and raped by 6 men for 3 days while she was pregnant.
Not far from here, that is where the incident happened. I'm pregnant. I'm 6 months pregnant by then. I did not anticipate anything that would come, my way. But unfortunately that day, everything went wrong.
Karabo was kidnapped a few blocks away from her house. She remembers this day as if it was yesterday.
So the car's packed in front of me. And then like a movie, people just jumped out of the car with guns. And I was still surprised and I was still shocked and I was still wondering, now what is happening here? Unfortunately, they were for me. Then there were shots. They fired shots on the air, and then they picked me up, opened the doors, threw me in the car. Off we went. And still in that midst of the drama, and I was confused. What is still going on? I'm still confused. What is going on? I'm starting to scream in the car, and I'm looking backwards, and I can see my friends are trying to chase the car. They are just running after the car, and the car is on the speed. Then we left up until we disappeared, up until I did not see them anymore.
One of her friend's daughters who were present at the time, Kwaita, takes us back to the moment it happened.
If I remember very well, Begate Sikapa, one of their friends. I was 7 years, I was 7 years. Mas Bakapa, we were walking a straight Danish, so she crossed first before Tina Sasali move up because there were cars coming. Little did she know Guti Imoto Lezile Motezomtata. And then across a vele. Now we are busy watching immediately Motozimezwe to Bayehlabu Putine Bamu Bamtate. I scream again, she was screaming for help. And then Umamnanwami and their guy friend, which is Uput came. Bazamuki Jimisi Moto. I got lost in everything because I was scared. Gabalega Ngalasha Katulo. But Egu Balegen Gwe to see separate Ranjal. I remembered obviously Ndlele ekhaya ukuthi kuphi. So nabo njengoba babhizi bagijimisa le moto lezi, they are still worried ukuthi mina ngiphelelepi. But mangiyehla ke sihlangane sonke sibuye la ekhaya, umamncane wami yakhala noButkeni bayakhala. So ngibone lapho ukuthi okay, she was taken, obviously akabuyanga. And at that time obviously ngumntana mkhululesa, I'm thinking what's going on? Why the guns? Why bebamguga wenzeni?
After her friends lost sight of her, Gogo Maria, a neighbor, recalls what it was like at home without her.
Ngwana ile ga romilwe ra makala go letsatsi le wela a tla monna tsa re mamposola o itse Karabo ga so go tlile gona tše ke re mama jwale ka gore ke motsha ra nagana gore motho mongwe o ile di botšheng ba gage kante ga go yalo ra ema day 2 a ga khutla ka day 2 day 3 ra ipotsa re police station re se jwang o re se jwang ka re emeng ganyane ene re le wa re re rapela re etsa dintho kaofela ka pelo tse botlhoko ne go le botlhoko tota ne go se monate.
Whilst fighting for her life in the back seat, Karabo witnessed an attempted kidnapping as the perpetrators were on a hunting spree and causing chaos everywhere.
Then on our way, we came across a girl. And then the car stopped again. The manner that they stopped when they took me. And then when they stopped again, they got out of the car. When they got out of the car, they tried to take that girl. But fortunately enough, that girl slipped out of the t-shirt. And then they were left with the t-shirt and they got annoyed. And then they shot that girl. Till today, I don't know where's that girl. Till today, I don't know whether she's still alive. What happened? It frustrates me every time when I talk about this because I know there was this girl who got injured that very same day, which I don't know what happened.
According to Karabo, the perpetrators were planning on sending them to hostel dwellers. Unfortunately, things didn't go according to plan. That was when they were taken to an abandoned house and kept there for 3 days.
The first thing that they instructed us to do when we arrived at the shack is to undress. They told us to undress. And then we would undress, when you were undressing your t-shirt, and then we left you the bra and the panty, and then they will tell you that undress everything that you have in your body. And then you can imagine in a group of 6 men, being a female, being pregnant, the other one not pregnant, but just people instructing you to undress. Then you are instructed because you know that these people are dangerous. Then we undressed, and then they took our clothes and put them wherever that they put whatever stuff. So we sat in that bank because it was late. It was already late. So for them it was a game. And so the game started, and then they started talking about who's going to start, and then whom are they starting with, and then who's going to sleep where, and then how is it going to happen. So, and then the boss said, I'm going to start with this one, meaning me. Now he's going to start with me. And then the other one who raped the girl, who started to rape my friend, I'm calling her my friend because we ended up being friends because we are in that situation. We have no other person. So that guy said to the boss, yeah, you can start with her, plus she's pregnant. Then the boy says, she's pregnant. Then he replies, yeah, but who pregnant alone? And then the boss says, when uzega kahle futhi bathi abafazi aba pregnant bamnandi, I'm going to start with you. So the guy started raping me. Then he raped me. And imagine, while he is raping me, these other 5 are not raping the other one. They are waiting for him to take the first step. So he raped me. Immediately after raping me, he goes to the girl on top of the bed. Immediately after he is finished, and it was like, kuyamina, kulandela mina. It was that thing, kuyamina. It was like a joke. They are drunk. The second one came, the third one came, the fourth one came, 5th, and the last one. So was the game the whole night up until in the morning.
Karabo remembers Sylvia, the other lady she was kidnapped with, asking about her baby. This interaction further strengthened their bond and provided a sense of comfort, however little it may have been.
I don't know whether it was morning or, and then I wanted to check if the lady is still alive because my conscience told me that I don't hear her breathing. And then I lift up my hand. Fortunate enough, she sees my hand that I'm trying to reach to her. And then she reached to my hand, and then we hold each other tightly. And then the question that she asked me, she said, Karabo, is the baby breathing? Is the baby kicking? Do you feel the baby's movement? Then I said, mm-mm. Then I said, it's okay. Then I said to her, it's okay.
Karabo and Sylvia had to endure the pain and suffering for a period of 3 days until they bravely came up with a plan to escape while the perpetrators were sleeping.
We got a key. Sylvia opened the key and listen to Sylvia. She says, Karabo, run. I'm coming behind you, but run. You know, I'm looking at this girl to say, we're in the same situation. We have been raped, both of us, by same guys, 6 guys. It's not like Hiena, she was raped by 2 and I was raped by 4. She was raped by 6 guys, much as I was raped by 6 guys, you know. But she had strength to secure me. And then she said, Karabo, when we get out of here, run. I could not run. We could not run. We had no energy. Then we locked the door. And then she threw away the key. Then slowly but surely, when we got at the gate, then she said, girl, we're not gonna go same direction. We need to separate ways. Go this side and I'm gonna go this side. But Karabo, when you get there, wherever you get help, look for me. And the same with me. When I get help, wherever, when I'm going to get help, I'm going to look for you. So that was the promise that we made to each other. Remember, me and Sylvia did not know each other from the bar of soap. We just met there. And unfortunately, we met in that situation, that bad situation. And we had to separate in that bad situation. I won't forget that. I won't forget the girl in my entire life.
Welcome back to Stories Untold. Remember, you can get in touch with us on all our social media platforms. It's at Stories Untold SABC. We commemorate Women's Month right here on the show, and our featured guest is Karabo April. Now, through the tragedy that Karabo has gone through, which is what we covered extensively in the first segment of this show, right now we focus on how she found healing and her work that she does with the South African Police Services, providing social work services to victims of gender-based violence and sexual violence.
After escaping, Karabo returned home to find her mother praying for any sign of her. Kwaita, who was a child at the time, recalls how happy the family was upon her return.
My grandmother, she's back. So everyone came as a kulega and we were all happy she's back. Because obviously she was pregnant even at that time. Yeah, so it was a celebration of some sort, although not much was spoken, but the fact that she's alive, yeah.
And I came in, they could not even notice me that I was there. But after their prayer, when my father stood up, he saw me lying there. That was the happiest moment of my parents, seeing their only child coming back home after 3 days.
Seeking justice was rather daunting as she was sent from pillar to post. Her case was never handled in a dignified manner.
Apparently, when I was away, my mom went to the police station to open missing person file. And then she was told that, no, go back. She went out with boys. She will come back, relax, don't fuss about it. Or if when you have the pictures, maybe tomorrow come back. And then my mother told me that she never went back, but that day she managed to open a missing person file. Then we got to Baragwanath. When we got to Baragwanath, and then we were ushered to one of the rooms that they said it's a counseling room. I did not get pleasure there. I was assisted by two females and one guy. And these people were like, I'm seated there seeking for help and desperately needing needing somebody to talk to who will probably ease the pain or something. And these guys were busy with their breakfast, talking about makwenya abona, and then talking about no chomi maris no fish sele sono se rekile maobane se better than today. And you know, moving on, I'm seated here looking at those people doing all those things, and it was like chomi. And then what about rapile? And like people will be like busy. And then when I responded, then I said yes. Then I said, I hope I was hlapa. I hope I was hlapa, ne? And it was like, no, I did not bath. But I got like more traumatized.
After all that has happened to her, Karabo managed to turn a new leaf in life by being true to herself and positive. She later wrote a book that speaks to her experience and was blessed with a job that assists other victims of gender-based violence.
Do something with your life. It's still early, guys. It's still early. It's honestly still early. We need girls like you. We need people like you. You are our tomorrow. I've experienced bad from our government institutions. I could put it like that. And I knew that what does a rape victim or a rape survivor need, because I was once there. I knew how I wanted to be treated. I knew what is it that I want from you as a counselor, you know. So me being in that office, I made sure that all the survivors or all our victims are treated with respect, because I was now in the office that I have authority of doing things, you know. I was in the office that I knew that when I'm here sitting with a rape victim, I know what to ask. I know what does she want to be asked, and I know what does she not want to know, you know. So I was empowered because it assisted me to say, I'm going to assist this victims in order that they must heal. They must not come out being empty-handed in a police station, in a friendly user room, like I did at Baragwanath.
She's the one who was leading the office, and perfectly so, because she understood victim hore ke eng. So if victim e ne itla mo officing, na ne re tseba hore ha Karaba le teng tshwantse go be quiet, go be le respect, go be le privacy. And one other thing, Karabo narata mosebetsi wa hae, in a sense that she didn't want anybody to interfere ha etsa mosebetsi wa hae. Na le very sensitive mo mosebetsing wa hae. So Karabo o ile a re ha a ntse a le hona mo ile coordinator, le ene ya ba social auxiliary worker, a ithuta ya sekolong ya ba social auxiliary worker. All the trainings, domestic violence, rape and everything, o di entse Karabo. Karabo has got most of the certificates. It's a courses studying for that office.
Bana ba re ba thotseng ko hostel, most of bana ba le ke bana ba ileng gore le re ba attenda ko victim empowerment center ko police station, and most of bone ke di child-headed families. But from child-headed families, abana ba tswa through the drugs, through society, through HIV and AIDS. So our duty nele hore re ba assisted to go to rehab, and then we will maybe provide information to them to get more knowledge about victim empowerment center, and most especially we would assist them to go to rehabs. But unfortunately, one of the girls that we were talking with, Honayano,
she mentioned a very important part ya hore we would send them to rehab, buy a rehab, but when they come back, havana anything to do. So they always go back to the same group that they were with. And then that place is so dangerous in such a way ya hore them as young girls, the older men take advantage of them and they sleep with them for them to get drugs.
Welcome back to the show. Remember, you can keep in touch with us on all our social media platforms. It's at Stories Untold SABC. Today, we would like to shine a spotlight on the plight of victims of gender-based violence as well as human trafficking. And our featured guest today on the show is Karabo April.
Because I worked in that office for 19 years and then I was removed to another office. And then I felt the void. I just felt that, I assisted so many people in that room and I noticed that people need help. And unfortunately, I assisted people only from Jabulani, Zola, and the sector policing area. And I felt that this is a problem to the society, not a sector. Then with my voice, I think I can reach more than 100 people, not in Soweto only, not in Jabulani only, but the whole world.
Being a victim of rape, we can encourage the victims of rape because they must speak up and they must stand for themselves and open cases against the rapist. So she's good in empowering people.
So she's gonna touch a lot of lives, experience to survive a rape, a ganje of being beaten and whatever. I mean, there's lots of people about experience a rape and some died, some are still dealing you know. Some are suicidal, some are drinking, some are on drugs.
Ke mo lakaletsa Katlego Masego gore a nna tswele pele a rute ba bangwe go ya pele gore go tlhagetse ke ntho o ska dula khoneng ska nna ke ile ka dula khoneng go fihlela le ka shekwe ke ile ka dula khoneng ka taba eo ba bangwe ke re ba ske ba banke mo Karabo gore ba bue ba tla ba kgona go hila le go ruta ba bangwe ba ba tlo kopana le ntho e situation e tsona le e.